The 2026 FIFA World Cup meal at McDonald's is underway with one of 9 legendary cups in the lineup. Christian Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine Yamal, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, Son Heung-min, Alphonso Davies, Santi Jimenez. And between the posts, it's Grimace. Get one of 9 collectible cups with a FIFA World Cup meal. At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last. All rights reserved. 2026 McDonald's at FIFA World Cup 2026.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
Conan, the Mysteries of Time. In an age undreamed of, where barbarous kingdoms battle for survival in a savage and unforgiving land, you stand alone. And welcome to Nostalgia, a chronological exploration of every NES game released in North America. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
You know, that was a pretty...
And I'm Conan.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot
It's a pretty heavy plot drop there at the top of the episode.
Oh, wait till you read the manual.
Right, wait till you read the manual is right, because if you play the game, there's no plot.
Yeah.
The game literally just, as soon as you hit start, it just drops you right into the game. And then when you finish a stage, it just automatically transports you right to the start of the next stage. There is nothing in between anything in terms of story. But yeah, when you go to that manual, I think it's 7 pages of story.
Yeah, and it like starts out like the beginning of like a novel. You know, it's like a chill of wind ran through your hair as you stepped outside.
Strong.
Like, yeah. I didn't read much further than that, but I will say my biggest complaint about the manual is that this game, I'm sure we'll get into it, but like you need a lot of, there's a lot of information you need. There's a lot of questions I had while playing this game, but this game starts and you got like the regular like warning and the Nintendo seal of quality, and then you've got a blank page. And then you've got 9 pages of dense story, and then you've got like a page and a half of like controls and instructions that I feel like do not give me all the information I need, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe we could have cut back the story and the blank page a little bit to give me a little more information on how to play.
Well, I mean, when the page is intentionally left blank, if they don't do that, they get arrested. Just to note that. But
I forgot about that.
So basically, it starts out with, you know, kind of strong prose for a video game manual, and then it just sort of devolves into telling you everything that you're gonna do, which I think is like a necessary ingredient for every great story. I need an old man to just sort of like expose the entire story to me before I experience it.
Well, do you think maybe you're supposed to play the stage and then go back to the manual and read the paragraph and then go to the next stage?
No, because it doesn't say like, please wait to read this.
It's like a choose your own adventure book.
And the story overall is just
get the urns.
Conan's seeking the throne, and a mysterious old man named Nemonios, I think is how I'm going to pronounce that. Nemonios. He materializes out of Conan's campfire, I guess, as you do back then, and he tells him that the key to the kingdom is recovering the 4 sacred urns, and it's just like, maybe the game was better off without a plot. Like, maybe it was better off when I was just time hopping around and fighting what appeared to be, to me at least, like not even a cohesive time period. Like, there was Romans, and then there's Vikings, and then there's like you're in hell at the start of the game, like with skeletons.
I'm not entirely like, how are any of us like familiar with Conan O'Brien, Conan?
Right.
Like, all I know is that it's like sword and sandals, quote unquote, and that it's just sort of like kind of a sexier, grim, dark fantasy world than usual. I don't really know much else.
Well, I think I mean, I'm not saying I'm a fan or anything, but I think that is good to ground yourself in, is that this doesn't take place in any, it's a made up world, which I don't think I have the name of that world in front of me. I thought I did actually in my notes somewhere. So it'll come up.
Conan.
But yeah, yeah, it's got sorcerers, thieves, monsters, but it's pulpy. So it's like simultaneously trashy and mythological at the same time. And Conan originally was from a pulp magazine in like the 30s. The author like quickly committed suicide shortly after writing the stories. That's not funny. I don't know.
I think the way
you're making me like nervous laugh.
He wrote this and then immediately did that. Sorry, it's not funny.
He was just so embarrassed by it. But no, it got a revival, and the reason, why I think this game is made is it mostly got revived through Marvel Comics in the 1970s, and then in 82, the film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was like still new to movies like that. So that was a great role for him to play into, but also like people were like, holy shit, they weren't really like exposed to this guy a lot before this. So he kind of like owned that Conan role. So like by the time of the release of the game, like it is kind of a household name. There's a lot of media attached to it outside of just the original Pulp Fiction, not the Tarantino.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Good. But now here's the origin story that you're not going to find on the back of the box. This game is not a Conan game. It is a lightly. I mean, like it is basically just a reskinned port of a British home computer title called Myth: History in the Making, and that went out on computers like the Commodore 64 and the Amiga, and it's a completely different thing. Where in Myth, the protagonist is a teenager who is in modern times, falls through a wormhole, and has to fight his way through different time periods: Greek, Norse, Egyptian mythology. You see where it's coming from? So it's like, you can't just say that Conan's going to fight Romans. Like, that's not how any of this works. Like, you have to agree to his world. And I feel like that's why the manual is trying to do so much makeup on the, let's make sure we get all that, all that franchise stuff in there and all like that world building, because it's not in the game.
But that also makes me wonder, and I guess I wouldn't have this problem if I knew anything about Conan, but did they just make that shit up too? Like, is that even Conan stuff? All these names of kingdoms that they mention?
It's a great question. Let's find out if Aquilonia is a real, and it is. It is the primary fictional kingdom.
Okay.
In the Conan the Barbarian stories.
I will grant them that.
Okay, and it's the not the world, but the nation is Hyborian, the Hyborian nation. So
okay, wait. So then what's Aquilonia again?
Aquilonia is the kingdom,
and
that's not the Nemodia.
What's that?
They say the Nemodian sky.
The Nemodian
sky.
Well, wait, I thought Nemodian was the guy who appeared in the campfire.
Was he? It says the Nemedian sky had turned black an hour before.
Oh, what page are you on?
1. the second sentence. It's the second sentence of the.
So Nemedian has to be the Earth, then, right?
Okay, so Nemedian is
like
the planet,
world, yeah,
and the nation is not the kingdom. And is the kingdom inside the nation, or is the nation a part of the kingdom?
Now wait. Now Nemedia is another kingdom. There's the kingdom of Nemedia, and then there's the kingdom of Aquilonia.
And
but they're both
the
a
first
part
two
of
sentences
Vernonia.
are a chill rushed through the Cimmerian's hair. The Nemedian sky had turned black. This is right away two words that I'm not familiar with.
Now,
I'm sure people love us finding this stuff out on the fly, but I'm literally trying to like zoom out. Like I need like a Conan map, and I just need to figure out, and it's like very hard to zoom out beyond the kingdoms. I don't know why.
Hyboria. Okay, that's just
right. That's like the setting, right?
Yeah.
The Hyborian, like.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Aquilonia is like it's California, and then there's Zingara, which it's like New Mexico.
I'm telling you right now, on the wiki, there is an impossible amount of nations, like that belong to this. Like, I didn't realize how much world building there was.
I thought
in
it was
Conan the
all just
Barbarian.
desert, to be honest.
See,
So-
I'm seeing this is AI overview from Reddit though, but Conan the Barbarian takes place in the Hyborian Age, a fictional prehistoric era of Earth.
What?
Yeah, okay, well, that's doing a lot of heavy lifting there. I don't, sure, it takes place on Earth, but everything is completely made up,
Is it
like all different.
Is it like Middle Earth? Is this just like early Earth?
Yeah, it seems like it takes place occurring between the sinking of Atlantis and the rise of known ancient
Oh, that is important.
civilizations.
Yeah, you know what? You are right. The Atlantis thing is important in Conan lore.
Okay.
Well, back to the game.
Uh-huh.
There's no better way to talk about this game than to start with that there are two jumps. there is jump straight up in the air, which is performed by not the A button, not the B button. It's the up button on the D-pad, something that we are known not to love, but we will
I actually
accept.
always thought that it couldn't get worse than that.
I'm
Right,
an
right.
up is jump apologist, so I've never really had an issue with it. So
Right. We're going to accept it because they have also decided that in this world of the Hyborian Age, down is also jump, and it is a longer jump. It is like a leaping jump. So this way you cover a lot of ground. And so realistically, you find yourself pressing down to jump in this game more than you do up to jump. And I just don't get it. Like,
It is
you could have just made the
unforgivable.
leaping jump up and to the right? Like you could have just made it a diagonal on the D-pad. Down to jump, as Sean just said, is completely unforgivable and is just there to fuck with the player.
Because there is a way to also, like, there's also a third jump. You can also, like, kind of press up and to the right at the same time and kind of do a less flourishing forward jump. It's just, like, you only do that accidentally.
Right.
Well, all right. I'm gonna have maybe the hottest take here,
Oh,
and I'm
God.
prepared to be disagreed with heavily. But I felt better using down to jump than I did up to jump.
Like, you
I
think
don't
that should
understand
be
how.
more
I don't
context.
even understand how that's true.
I'll tell you how. Up to jump felt weird. It felt like stiff or something. Down to jump felt like a different mechanic. I'm not saying it felt good, but it felt like you're doing some kind of like spring action. Like you pull down and then release to jump. And that didn't feel that weird. I mean, it felt weird to me, but it didn't feel as bad. It felt more comfortable to me than up to jump. And maybe because it's a different jump and that pushes you forward as well. But like, yeah, it didn't feel that, like, at first I was like, what the heck? But like, I was like, okay, I'd still rather do this than up to jump. I know. But that's where I stand.
I kind of get what you're saying, but that this is like, if this were like a physics-based like Octodad thing, like
I'm not saying it makes sense for the game. I'm just saying it felt better for me to do than up to jump.
okay.
I am not claiming to be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I had to remind myself that down was jump almost every time I wanted to use it. Like anytime I needed it, I had to be like, oh right, I have to press that down button on the D. Like I've been taught for so long everything against down is jump that it's like you had to forget it was in your arsenal, but you have to use it a lot, specifically in that first stage, to cover the kind of ground needed to get between platforms. So the game is also telling you, like, get used to it. Like, not even like, oh, there's this other way to jump and it's the down button. It's like, no, use it a lot. We're gonna make you do it. And so there is no way around that. And it is the kind of thing that made me like go to the manual. That's what started my look to the manual. It was like, is that true? Down to jump and
Do my eyes deceive me?
It says it, but it words it worse in the manual. Up is jump straight up, and down is jump in the direction you are facing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a great description of what's happening with either jump.
Now, I'm like, here's my hot take. I think that having the jump button also be like you have to hold down a button, hold down attack and then press down, and that's how you kneel / pick up items. So it is now doing that same direction is now doing two very different things, with a very strange modifier. I think that's it's almost like they're fucking with us at this point.
Yeah, Sean, you just reminded me of the second time I went into the manual, which was to how the hell do I pick up this weapon? In every stage, there are hidden weapons somewhere in the environment. It's not really marked, it's not hinted at, but they're not impossible to find. Like we were talking about the hidden eggs in Adventure Island 2 last week. There are some cryptic clues in the manual, but what I noticed was when I found the sword, which I think is like purposefully made to be found, all of a sudden I was like pressing A, I was pressing B, I was pressing down, nothing was working, and then the manual says you have to press button A plus down, but down, as you'll recall, is a jump. So you have to be holding the A button first and then go down in order to pick up the object. That is where down to jump is wrong, Joe. And because now they're mapping it to something else as well.
Well, yeah, and that's the same reason up to jump is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, just don't make either of those jump. But like, is it me or is there any reason that you would not pick up this weapon?
No, there is no reason for you not to do that.
You keep the weapons.
Yeah,
right, you
why
always
not
keep the weapons.
As soon as you don't even have to waste a button or weird combination of buttons on it. Just if I bump into the weapon, I've picked it up.
But we're also, if we're going to use that actual sound logic, then why are there two different kinds of attacks if both of them hit the same enemies, basically? I know that the flying enemies, I feel like, get hit more with, the B attack than the A attack, but let's just set that aside because it doesn't actually matter and you're just going to button mash one way or the other. Can't one of those fucking buttons be jump? Just have one attack.
Right.
I completely
I won't
agree.
pretend to have had any concept of what was actually happening while I was fighting. I would just
you were doing a slap
hear
fight.
Sound effects and see the enemies die or me die.
You were just slap fighting the enemies.
Yeah.
You're constantly just poking each other, and then eventually they die. And it's I'm sure I took some damage.
Yeah.
Oh, you
during
did
that encounter.
You probably took a lot more than you thought you did.
Yeah, that's the worst part, right?
Also, this is not the worst thing about this game, but the HUD is kind of. I mean, it's not hidden. It's literally right there in the corner, but it's almost like it's a debug afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like, oh, how do we keep track of? Oh, we'll just have this zero stylistic choice, no graphical design elements in it.
Nothing even to represent what the numbers could mean.
Right.
No,
they
you have
put numbers there.
You have 2, and that's it. You have 2 and then a bunch of lines.
Don't you have other numbers above those lines?
Who knows what that means?
I don't know what are those your points
the whole time.
Yeah,
it's probably points.
Those must be your points.
Yeah,
or your power level.
Yeah, but I agree. That is crazy. That it is actually it's a cutout. Like the game is leaking, and now we're just seeing some numbers through the screen, and I feel like Conan and everybody else can see them as well. Like if they just look up, they'd be like, "Huh."
It's like the full moon,
right? Something's going on there. We'll stick with the combat system first, and then we can get more back to the hidden weapons. Whether it's your default weapon or the ones you pick up, a lot of these weapons have a pretty short range. And, we talked about the slap fighting and everything, but just in general, is there any non-projectile weapon in this game where combat suddenly feels not even just good, but but different or unique? Is it always just like I hit you a bunch of times, you hit me a bunch of times, and we walk away from each other? One of us more scathed than the other. Like I didn't even understand what was happening in combat.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
And I think part of it is just because the feedback is, it's not that it's not there, because they do have like sound effects and animations for hits, but they only happen every once in a while. Like sometimes you'll be fighting a skeleton and you'll see that like, oh, you actually chopped his head off, and like that's cool. Or that there's a little bit of a recoil and they don't attack you for a second. But then there's a bunch of times where that just doesn't happen. And the little hit sound effect doesn't play at all, but they die anyway. And so it just, you feel very removed from whatever's happening. And then there's no feedback for you getting hit either, other than your health meter melting to the right. So it's very strange. It's very disorienting.
I'm not a fan that Conan doesn't have a face either. That's a little disturbing.
I think he needs bigger muscles.
He definitely needs to look a little bigger, right? He probably looks exactly like that teenage boy in the Commodore 64 game. They probably didn't even change that much for him.
Yeah, I think his biceps a little bigger, but like that's not enough.
I don't think any human gets a face in this game now that I think about it.
Yeah, even like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I just saw this happen. There's like a guy, I'm on that like green stage with like the tree. It's like a forest. But
the green stage. I
green
know what you're
stage,
talking
you know
about.
Didn't get there.
There's a guy who comes at you. He's kind of bigger. He does not have a face. But when you kill him, he falls to his side and then has a very distinct looking face.
Looks like
So only
Mr.
seeing
Bean.
Yeah. It's Rowan Atkinson.
He actually, and when he goes on his side, he looks like he's in like the fetal position, either crying or sleeping. Like
Yeah.
you hit him
Wow,
enough
you
that
found
he's like,
that guy really quick. You
Yeah,
found the
he's
green
just-
stage and that guy.
that's how good we are, Joe. We're in sync.
No.
There's just something about him that is that's just weird. That like he chose to like fall asleep. Like, I'm just gonna stop fighting. I'm just gonna go like this into a ball. You can't hurt me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what it looks like. He's like, I'm not playing anymore.
Right. Now, the other thing that we were talking about that affects the combat is all these hidden weapons that you have to find, and there is no way to the start button doesn't do anything, right? The start button is not pause.
I don't think so. I think select just brings you to a menu, which ostensibly pauses.
Right, which
but
is technically the
yeah.
pause, but is really more of the weapon select screen. But the start button doesn't do anything. I'm looking at the manual now, and thankfully, start says starts the game. So that's all it's used for. So even start could have been the jump button.
Yeah.
It could have been. Mike, you did say that you wanted to talk about finding weapons, but I think that's part of a larger thing here, which is just like what kind of game this actually is. Like, we've been getting into some details, but this is actually a puzzle game?
It is. There are definitely and at that too, puzzles that might sound interesting when we talk about them.
Yes, but you need to understand that your ears deceive you.
Right. I think that's what I'm getting at too. Is that there are some interesting things in this game that I'll take the second stage here when you're in the desert. There is this woman who's calling you over, and if you pass her rather than kill her, which I think to kill her you have to hit her 20 times or something like that.
It's not.
But if
20,
you pass her,
but it's
it's more than one, which I guess like makes it feel wrong to hit her at all.
Yeah.
But if you pass her and didn't kill her, she turns into a snake, which basically you automatically die when you pass her.
And
So
you might not even know why you died.
Right, exactly. Can you really infer that that's what happened? Maybe.
Well, I'll be
but
honest. This is where my playthrough ended. I know this is very early, but I died a couple times, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch a video of the rest of this because that instant death. I mean, that was clearly like a troll, right? Like they want you to think this is an innocent person, she's not attacking, and then you just die instantly.
I think it's all a troll. So, I mean, I think I would like to explore this this woman enemy as well as the thing that happens after that, or that you need to do after that. But I want to take a step back to level 1.
Sure.
Which is, you get the sword. You have to find the sword. It's a random drop, and you'd think that, like, okay, it's just an item that you use to fight enemies and go to the right and win the game. No, you have to get the sword to then cut down a skull or like a skeleton, which, one might think is just a cool little piece of like flavor to the game, that you can interact with this background element, but it's not really that important. There's like a big like Cerberus in front of you that you have to kill, and so you might run over there and start using your newfound sword, or maybe like the fireballs that you picked up instead, to shoot at this Cerberus thing or dragon chimera, whatever it is, and you just realize that it's not doing any damage. You're getting ganged up on by like random goblins and skeletons while you're trying to kill this thing, and it's just not working out. Well, what you had to do was you first had to cut down that skeleton, then go down to the skeleton and then fight a devil, and the devil will give you his little pitchfork, and that pitchfork is not a melee weapon. That is a single-use ranged weapon that you have to fire at the dragon chimera Cerberus thing, and then it disappears. It's a one-hit kill, and then you can keep going, and then the level goes on for way longer than you'd think after you like beat whatever like mini boss or whatever obstacle it is, and then you move on to this like ancient Greek desert thing.
Which is a worse puzzle, because it's not telling you like, oh, you don't have the right weapon, like go find the right weapon, and it turns out to be this one-time use pitchfork, right? Like I think the reason why I went for the woman in the second level is because she's like telling you, she's waving you on, so like just with her, she's just like kind of motioning with her hand, so you could assume that she's like telling you to come to her, or maybe keep going, like go past her,
come hither.
So you could infer, yeah, exactly. you could maybe infer that like, okay, I shouldn't pass her, or I should try to interact with her or something. So there's something a little more there, and I agree with you. I'll say Cerberus. The Cerberus thing is just like, it's such a chain of things that have to happen that it's kind of incredible that the game expects you to do that with zero. No, just even with zero, like walking you through, even like, like just finding the sword. Like, again, it is a hidden object. It's not like, oh, get down here and claim the sword because you naturally go to this platform. You have to find that first just to be able to poke that skeleton, and like, I don't know, I guess like interesting, but at the same time, like, I think you told a great story, and in game it doesn't play fun at all. It just feels like you read a game fact.
I think that like we are really, really generously using the word puzzle for both of these things. I think it literally is just like, it's just a trial and error. It's just like, get lucky. There's no information that makes you think, oh, what if I did this? Or like, I have to solve this. It's like, just try everything you possibly can, including this thing that's a one-time use object that you could maybe find. Like, it's just random, and there's no like, maybe if you were developing the game, you might be thinking, oh yeah, like this goes here and this goes there, and you're like, okay, that's how, like, you forgot to give any of the information to make it solvable by a player.
And I think, again, this is, you would have to just bang your head against the wall for long enough to solve it, because they don't give you any kind of hint. There are hints in the manual, but they are hints in the most nebulous way. And if I played this game like I play most games on this podcast, which is I don't go to an FAQ, because then I'm basically holding somebody's hand that did play the game, then I would have stopped here. Like, I would have stopped dying in front of the Cerberus thing over and over and being like, this is what I'm going to use to talk about the video game, but I was so befuddled by this that I had to look up what you were supposed to do, and then I did it, and it's just every level is like this. it's just no feedback. Solve this random puzzle that you just have to bang your head against the wall. If you're a kid when this game came out, it's wild.
Yeah, I don't like that. To Joe's point about shouldn't you just automatically pick up these items? Like the things that are useful in a stage are not even like things that you acquire like earlier on in that stage and think of like, oh, how should I use this? It's like the third stage is against Medusa, and the second stage is where you get the mirror. So if you don't have the mirror, that's going to be a huge problem against Medusa, because you're supposed to use that mirror to fire her lasers, which again, I didn't know she had that ability, but you fire these lasers back at her, and that makes it this way you can grab her head, and then you take her head to the Hydra fight, and you use that because think about like you're not gonna be able to attack the Hydra with your sword. I guess you could try. I don't even know if it would take the damage, but you need the Medusa head in order to shoot the projectile to attack each of the 3 Hydra heads.
See, this is where I stopped. I stopped at Medusa because okay, before we even get here, I also need to just explain this shield, mirror shield, which I know is a thing from actual mythology, but there's also like, yes, there's mythology, but then there's also just like video game expectations and grammar. The thing that you have to interact with to get this item is a background element. Like, it is very clearly part of like set dressing, or in any other video game it would be. Like it would be like trying to jump on top of a mountain that has a face written on it in a Mario game. It'd be like trying to interact with that. And you have to basically attack this sculpture or statue of a guy holding a shield however many times. It took me a few hits. I've seen it take more hits in Let's Plays, like more than you would think, because there's no feedback again. And then eventually the whole thing falls down, and then you get this shield. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to get that. I don't even think if I played this game all weekend, I would just, again, bang my head against the wall in the Medusa level, not knowing that you had to interact with some random background element for however long. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it is like such a shame that it all is kind of like this, because the aesthetic design of these levels make me like want them to be so good. Like I want this to be so fun. There are some really cool backgrounds and aesthetics, and like just the one level looks really cool until you have a seizure when you're on that boat and there's lightning striking twice a second.
Yeah.
But like otherwise it's pretty cool looking, and there's like, the castle level where there's like drawbridges that's like a dragon's mouth that's opening and closing. Like a lot of thought went into these things, and it's just a shame that they all like just induce pure frustration rather than like the kind of coolness that should go along with them.
And I think it's also one of those things where it's compoundingly frustrating, where it's one thing for the combat to suck, it's one thing for the down button to be mapped to jump, it's another thing for like the whole game to just be a reskin of a different game that has very little to do with the actual Conan franchise, and then you add in all these like just mindfuck puzzles, and it's like, okay, what did this game want to be? And it sounds like it just did it. It wanted to be anything but a Conan game. Because I'm sorry, but like, shouldn't a Conan the Barbarian game be like a Contra-like without guns? Like, shouldn't Conan just be like steamrolling people and like almost like a beat 'em up, and you're just going through with like crazy awesome melee combat? And instead, like, this game, he just feels stiff.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a pitfall, like in certain points, the whole like canned animation thing rubs me the wrong way with the actions you're supposed to undertake in combat. I'm just gonna repeat myself if I go on.
Yeah, I understand.
Well,
I understand.
I thought for a while, like, it kept making me think it was trying to be, like, somehow a little bit like Prince of Persia. But
I
then,
could
like,
see that.
yeah, like, it was something about, I think something about that forward jump. It has, like, almost like a set distance that it is. So, like, it
Which is
just
very
felt,
Prince of Persia.
yeah. But, like, it didn't feel like it was pulling it off.
I guess I
Yeah,
meant more
and
Prince of Persia than Pitfall. It just
Well, no, because I can see the Pitfall thing too, though, because Prince of Persia is a very like deliberate platformer, whereas like this is like there's a heavy emphasis on the action part of it all too at the same time, and so you can't be as careful as you might like. Like, you know, if you take a jump and get hit by an enemy, you're just stunned. You stop your jump. And that's not helpful either.
Taking a jump again, or like going, like, a couple times I would jump and I landed right in like a 1 pixel long pit somehow, and then I would fall straight down. There'd be a platform like 1 inch to the left of me, but I can't move at all. I just have to watch myself like slowly fall straight down. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's more realistic, but like it does not feel like other video games. It feels like I'm just like helpless.
Now, every professional review of this game seems to reach the same conclusion, which is that one critic called it the worst NES title ever made. Another described it as platforming at its worst. And GamePro, who in the past has given some questionable scores on these NES games that we look back on, it gave it a perfect score for challenge. Which, I mean, I guess, like, technically, right? It is
just, like,
pretty damn difficult.
Like, a challenge of any kind, then sure, yeah, it's a challenge.
Right, but should that really, like, give it, like, if that gets a 5 out of 5 and everything else is also getting out of 5s, and so that gets it, like, 5 out of 20 just on challenge alone, is that the right way to score
that's
something?
more of a question of, like, there's something wrong with your rating system. If you're giving points that could cumulatively make something sound better than it is.
And then I think, like, when we just look at, like, Conan as a property, I know we're all, like, underexposed to it and everything, but certainly, like, the 80s and 90s seem to be, like, peak Conan stuff, and it doesn't seem like there's anything happening right now for the character, certainly that I'm aware of.
I know there is a, like, weird survival game that has some audience that gets advertised to me on Steam once in a while, but other than that, I have no exposure to Conan.
Well, that's pretty cool. Do you play just like in that universe that we can't figure out the name of the planet, or do you?
I have
do you play as Conan?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's like Rust, or I don't know, PUBG. I can't tell.
Yeah. It looks like Conan comics might still be in the works here, just not through Marvel. It's now through Titan. So Marvel had a long run from the 70s all the way until 1993, and then it looks like you got a second revival with Dark Horse for like 50 issues or whatever, and now is with Titan. I'm not familiar with Titan, the publisher, so I'd have to check out what else they do.
But I guess he won't be in the MCU then.
No, they won't be
not going to be in Avengers.
Avengers 2.
Oh, Titan does the Simpson comics too. I should have known that. Never mind.
Fake fan.
And I think we should all know that when you start talking about Simpsons comics and which if the cross button is the cross button or the X button, that the episode's probably over and it's time for the Essential Games List. Joe.
I think the most praise I was going to give this game, I've already given it, which is that the aesthetics of the levels looked like they could have been promising. So if that's the highest praise I can give it, I mean, like, it's a frustrating experience. I even just from the first moment of trying to control this character, it's frustrating. I don't know what my goal is, because I thought there was like something else I had to do before I fought that Chimera thing or whatever. It's a mess. It doesn't feel good to fight. It doesn't feel good to move. I'm going to say certainly not essential.
Sean.
Yeah, I'm not sure which publications at the time were saying those things, but I'm going to agree that, like, this might be one of the worst video games I've ever played. Like and part of it is because it's so uneven. Like I do like the visual style to an extent. Like we were talking about, like the lighting and some of the backgrounds look cool, and like the music isn't bad, and like the ideas for some of these puzzles are okay, but playing everything that we've said about how you actually interact with this game feels terrible. And so yeah, I think this is one of the worst games on this system.
Yes, and it's kind of like, I feel like I could have been a lot harsher if we didn't just play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons also this year, which is like, in my opinion, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons might be even worse than Conan, but they're definitely like, they're competing for the spot, and they are definitely bottom of the barrel NES games. We talked about some of the deeper levels in this game. I don't want to lead anyone on and think that they should try to get there. Like, I did not get there. This is like me using like emulator cheat codes. This way I can continue to progress to at least have stuff to talk about. This game is frustratingly hard, terrible to control, and even if you are a fan of Conan the Barbarian, I would still recommend absolutely do not check this out, because it's just a reskin of a different game. It has very little to do with Conan. So read the manual, I suppose, if you're a fan of the Pulp Fiction stories, because at least there's something there. At least they went for it in the manual, because they didn't go for it at all in this game. Thankfully, next week it looks like we will be playing Double Dragon 3, and we like the Double Dragon series, so it doesn't look like we'll have another Conan. Maybe Double Dragon will take us there. Maybe they will completely fuck it up. But I'm looking forward to that one, because games like Conan and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so close to each other in 1991, make me worried that we're going to get a lot more of these as the year continues. Say something, Joe.
Something, Joe.